Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation today. A special welcome to all our unit managers and the staff members. My name is Elizabeth Matthew. I'm one of the clinical nurses on 7 Cathcart at Pennsylvania Hospital, and I really consider it a great joy and privilege to be working here and taking care of our wonderful patients. Today, we're gathered here to learn about a strategic plan that was developed to improve our staff responsiveness to our patients' calls. So, what we're going to learn today is why this strategic plan was developed, how this plan will be implemented, and what are the expected outcomes from implementing this plan. So, why was this plan implemented or developed? Based on our October 2016, September 2017 HCAHPS scores. The consumer assessment part, which is where the patient experience is measured, one of the pieces is the responsiveness of hospital staff. And if you look at here, our score is only at 60%, whereas the top 10% nationally is at 82%. Even though we're very close to our PA average, it's important that we go up to the top 10% nationally. So this was the major reason why the strategic plan was developed to improve the staff responsiveness to our patients' calls. The other reasons are our patient safety is directly affected by the staff responsiveness. So is the patient's experience when they're in the hospital. Our care model in our hospital is the relationship-based care. And the more we have, or the faster we have a staff responsiveness to the patient's calls or patient's needs, we build a wonderful relationship with our patients, which then is aligned to our care model, which will help us with improving our scores and also our staff responsiveness. So these were the reasons why we developed this strategic plan. What is the goal of the strategic plan? The goal of this plan is basically to improve our staff responsiveness scores to 80% in 1 year and stay aligned with our relationship-based care model that we have in our practices here in our hospital. So how do we implement the strategic plan? There are several steps or factors that are involved, which will help us effectively roll out this plan in our hospital. This was done by currently observing the practices on 7 Cathcart because that's where I work, and also talking to the unit manager and some of my peers. I had developed this plan. So number one is depending on the size of your unit, you could divide the unit into different zones. 7 Cathcart was divided into zone 1, 2, and 3, depending on the hallways. And the charge nurses assigned certain zones to certain nurses and technicians. So what happens is the nurses and techs that are assigned to specific zones are responsible to make rounds on the patients in that zone and also to document on the patient flow sheet that the rounding was done. The ultimate goal of this is to ensure that our patients are safe throughout our shift. And also, the second step is to improve the teamwork within our units. The current practice on 7 Cathcart or most of the units is that the nurses hesitate or the techs hesitate to go and help other nurses or techs patients. One of the bottom line reason is that we don't know how this patient ambulates or what was going on with that patient. But most of the time from observances, the patient's call is usually for something very easy, like an alarm going off, or they just need a cup of ice or water or something like that. So everyone can pitch in together and help our patients out, and this will improve the teamwork. And the charge nurses are expected to observe which team members or staff members exhibit excellent teamwork during the shift, and those staff members will be recognized during our safety huddles at the beginning and the end of our shifts. The unit clerks are expected to round on all the patients at the beginning of the shift, introduce themselves, and try to explain to the patient how to use the call light, when to use it, and who to call for help. The charge nurses are also expected to make rounds on the patients once a shift, make sure that the nurses and the techs have updated their names and phone numbers on the whiteboards, and also ensure that the patients are safe. How does management come into this plan? The unit manager is going to observe patient compliance for this plan. They're going to provide education and training to the staff members on the importance of staff responsiveness, and how our scores have been affected so far. All this will be discussed in our monthly staff meetings. And also, the unit manager will be gathering information and data from our charting and also from the call light system to see how fast we are actually responding to our patients' calls. And our strategic plan will be evaluated by the unit manager based on the needs of the specific units. So what happens next is the data that's gathered will be submitted to our clinical directors. So the clinical directors will then evaluate how effective the strategic plan has been throughout the hospital in different units, and will recognize the units that have been doing better than the others. And if there are some units that are lacking or fall short in some areas, the strategic plan will be adjusted specific to that unit. So what are the expectations from this or expected outcomes from this strategic plan? The first thing is patient safety. It cannot be compromised. So we have to remember that the faster we get to our patient, the faster we can protect them from a fall or something that's going on with them clinically. Again, our care model that we practice here at Pennsylvania Hospital is the relationship-based care model. So if the staff can respond to the patient's calls, then we're being aligned to our care model and building a relationship to our patients, which then influences their experience through their hospitalization. So ultimately, what happens is the patient has a good experience, has a positive outcome, and this will improve our HCAHPS scores to 80% in 1 year. In conclusion, this is a teamwork between all of the nurses, all of our techs, all of the unit clerks, charge nurses, unit manager, clinical directors, and basically all of the team members that work here in Pennsylvania Hospital, right from when the patient comes into the hospital until they're discharged. Every staff member that comes in contact with a patient makes an impact on the patient's experience. And staff responsiveness is one of the most important factors that will influence the experience of the patient. So by implementing this strategic plan, we can make a positive effect on the patient's experience during their stay in our hospital. And hopefully we can bring our scores up to 80% into that top 10% nationally within 1 year. I want to thank everyone that has come here today. I wish you all good luck and have a great day. Thank you.